Were you watching CNN and MSNBC this weekend? Well, they largely ignored President Trump's speech at CPAC, the liberal cable networks refusing to cut in for the former president's first speech since leaving office.
Here to react, senior policy analyst at the Independent Women's Forum, Patrice Onwuka. First off, thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so it was the former president's first major speech since Biden took office. CNN had coverage of the pandemic. MSNBC aired a short clip of this speech. Fox obviously took it, from the get-go. Why do you think this is from each of those perspectives?
Well, it's not surprising. I think those other networks don't want to give too much energy to President Trump and his supporters. He certainly defined in his speech what Trumpism is and that the Republican Party is, frankly, his party at this point. But there's a lot of energy, and he laid out a roadmap for, what conservatives should be fighting against and fighting for, and holding President Biden accountable for all of the policies that he hid during the campaign trail and are now enacting that are really surprising Americans.
Patrice, this confused me for two reasons. One, those networks, CNN and MSNBC, made their bones over the course of the last couple of years by focusing 24/7 on Trump, albeit in a different way than, let's say, other networks may, a much more negative approach. But two, this was arguably the most newsworthy event of what seemed to be a fairly slow news day in a fairly slow news weekend. What's your response to all that?
Oh, it is surprising. I mean, certainly they made a ton of money on Trump. But right now, I guess the focus is there's nothing to see here, folks. Let's move along. Let's not give him too much energy or too much attention. And particularly if it's going to be attention that could be positive. And like I said before, attention that means him, highlighting how he is holding the Biden presidency accountable for all of the issues that they're enacting, and that these networks are glossing over and not covering. So, I think they're doing a little bit of cover-up for Biden and just trying to ensure that there's not a lot of attention driven to Trump.
Patrice, from Orlando to Boston Public Schools suspending enrollment for advanced learning classes for 1 year.